and welcome to the RTO Show. I'm your host, Pete Shau. Listen, you guys know that we do everything rent to own here, and today I have a couple of special guests. Listen, I was scrolling through social media the other day, and when I saw Ray Muncy's face of Buddy's Home Furnishings, I'm like, I know that guy. Well, you know what? Fox News also picked up this story because he does Wake for Warriors in regards to what he does with his community. And you know what? I got another guest for you today who actually runs the Wake for Warriors, amazing veteran that we have on, Mr. Dave Deep. Listen, wait till you guys find out what he does for a living. He's like a real G.I. Joe that we have on here. I'm just kidding him. I need to get his autograph before he runs for president. But guys, I really appreciate you being on here. Ray, it's good to see you again. Dave, it's awesome to have you on the show. I want to tell you guys, I really, really, really appreciate everything that you guys do, especially being able to do this story today because it means a lot. We care about the veterans on this show. We care about all the things that they've done for us, and we always want to give back. And when I saw Ray on there and I heard the story of Wake for Warriors, I had to reach out. I couldn't hold out. But it was great to see that, locally and nationally, there's some recognition on this. Fox News is not a small station, so we're glad that they can follow us up on this. But I can tell you right now, amazing, amazing story. I want to tell you, first off, Ray, Dave, thanks for being here. Ray, you are the man. I love the Buddies hat. I love the Wake for Warriors shirt. How you doing today?
Man, I'm doing great, Pete. Thank you so much for inviting me to come on and be able to bring one of my best friends, Dave, with me and kind of talking to you guys about what we got going on or what he's got going on that I'm trying to help with.
Absolutely. Dave, nice to have you on the show. How do you know this guy over here? How do you know him? How do you know Ray? Listen, Ray does a great job in the RTO industry, but I have never seen him wakeboarding. How does he do?
Well, I met Ray at an event about 10 years ago, and we've been friends ever since. Mainly because, as you know, he's a great person on and off the water, and we're gonna get him out there and get him surfing this year. That's my commitment.
Well, listen, I want to tell you guys, you have to see some of these veterans in action because if you think you can't do it and you see some of these guys doing it, you'll have no excuse. But right now, let's go to a little bit of background. First off, Ray, you've been doing this. You've been reaching out to the community. You've been doing rent to own for a long time. Now you've got 4 stores. You're doing a great job. You're still doing Buddy's Home Furnishings through Tri Budco LLC. Is that right?
Right. We've got 4 stores in Central Georgia.
So right now, and that's exactly where I saw the Fox News thing come from, out of Georgia. Yeah. And so 87, man, you've been doing this for a long time. How did you not end up on the Legend series that we're running right now?
Some of us can keep a lower profile than others. and I try my best to do that as is. I mean, this is not my comfort zone to be in the front for Wake for Warriors and stuff. I'm the guy that's behind the scenes. I'm the one that's picking up the trash while everybody else is doing their thing. So, I don't know. I mean, I've been blessed. I've only been with a couple of different companies. I started out with a small rent-own company, Rent-A-Center that was a franchise there in Georgia. They sold back to corporate, went to work for Network Rental for a couple of years, looked at opening up an Aaron's franchise. They were starting their franchising back then. Someone had already had the territory down in Columbus. So worked with that guy for about 5 years, went to work for corporate for another 20 years with Aaron's. Thought I was getting out. I thought I was out. I was out for about 2 years and doing some things. And then I get a call from Todd Evans and, he says, I got some guys I want you to talk to. So I've got 2 partners that are just super guys. We've been now 4 years, doing these stores with 4 stores open and, got about 6 or 8 more that we'll end up doing.
Well, Ray, when it's in your blood, it doesn't ever go anywhere. I'm just telling you right now, it's going to pull you back in. And then I have Dave Deep, a retired military, Marine Corps, right? So as we're going through this, we're green rooming it, guys. I find out this guy's done 250 missions, flown over Iraq in an AH-1W Super Cobra with 2 turbines. We figured that one out. And this is his car of choice. This is a helicopter, actually. And, amazing, some of the amazing things that you've been able to do. Dave, how are you doing? What brings you here today? I mean, you're just killing it over there. Wake for Warriors? What's going on?
Thanks, Pete. First of all, thanks for having us. We always love to tell our story about Wake for Warriors. And anytime we can get a chance to let people know about what we're doing, we're happy to do it. But yeah, been doing it this is year 14. I was come back from Afghanistan and one of my ways of relaxing and kind of just being away from it all was getting on the water. And that's, eventually I was like, man, I got to share this with some other people. And that's how Wake for Warriors got started.
Well, from a gut feeling to where you are now, I think you had some really good intuition, because I checked out some of the online content that I've been on YouTube. Listen, I even looked up, Mac and Rachel, who does great volunteer work for you guys, for doing it for years. I wanted to make sure that I gave them a shout out. Thank you guys for what you do. Also, we're going to be showing Tyler Densford on a picture over here. He probably is one of the people, and I'm not saying the only one, but he's one of the people. I've seen what he does, and absolutely amazing. Guys, if you've never seen a vet really enjoying himself, and he's got some abilities that you would never know he doesn't have, and he is riding a wake like nobody's business. It was absolutely beautiful. So tell us a little bit. During your 2003, 2005 deployment, one of your missions was escorting medevac helicopters, and you have this ability to visit the warriors that are wounded in the hospital. How did that, what did that leave on you that you felt, like you said, 14 years ago, I need to give back? How did you see them and say, you know what, you're not maybe as complete as you were physically, but you're damn sure 100% a warrior and a veteran for what we do. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, like I said, we did some medevac escort, and the hospital was, on the same base. So after we escorted them, occasionally we'd go and say hey to them, just kind of cheer them up. Consistently, it was the attitude, the positive attitude that these young warriors were displaying that kind of motivated me. It was like, yeah, these guys aren't going to quit. They're not going to stop and feel sorry for themselves. They're going to want to challenge themselves. And, I've been in doing motorsports for a long time. And I was like, this is a perfect fit. I knew how healing it was for me personally, sharing that with other folks. And I honestly, I didn't know how I was going to do it. And the first person that I had met it was a challenge because he was a double amputee. And I met him at a Marine Corps birthday celebration. And I was like, hey, I got this idea. And he was game to do it. And neither one of us really knew what we were doing, but he came to my house. We figured it out over the course of a weekend. And he's still with us on the board. And he's a guiding principal. He's a person that guides us on making sure that we do things right, how we treat veterans. He's also a pretty darn good wakeboarder.
He definitely has become, when you talk about a double amputee, Pete, that now can do the tricks and come and compete, it's amazing, again, what our veterans come back in and with that fire to live and do something. It's amazing what they can do. And Tony does it.
Yeah.
So, my question is, there was a comment that you said that it changed you forever. You know that they have that fight, but you changed. You know that there's a need out there. What led you to the water? The healing factor of water is something that we would always say, mystically. But this is a real live Wake for Warriors is on the water, and it rejuvenates, regenerates, and gets them, out of where they've been to where they are now. Where did that come from?
Well, I had done it before previously. When I was a flight instructor back in the mid 90s near Pensacola, there's plenty of water out there, and wakeboarding was new. And I went out and rented a boat from the local MWR, and I was like, oh, I'm going to check this thing out. And it was a wakeboard with like these little toe straps, and I didn't know what I was doing, but I went out there and I fell in love with it. And I just remember having just so many good days on the water, just hanging out with your friends and family. And then as I exited, I left active duty, and I was pursuing an airline career, and the first thing that had to go was the boat, because took a pretty significant pay cut leaving active duty. So the boat left, and then pretty much as soon as I got back from Afghanistan, priority one was to get a boat, because I knew that was going to center me a little bit and help me kind of roll back into civilian life.
Yeah, well, it was 2012. You're on Lake Harding, is what I remember, mm-hmm. And then Tony Mullins, and you couldn't have said it any better, Ray. Just somebody who's really pushing. But as you're going through this, you know Tony now, you know what his resilience is, you know what he can do. But what was it like the very first time that you're doing this? This is the first time that we're going through it. This is the first time that you have somebody in his condition the way he is. How was it like going through those first steps and saying, you know what, we're going to make this work one way or another, and we're going to figure out as we go along? What led to that? What did Tony have that made you say, you know what, I'm going to put this guy on this board, and we're going to have some darn fun?
Yeah. Well, his story is, so we're in like our dress uniforms, and this random dude, me, walks up to him. It's like, hey, do you want to come to my house and wakeboard and learn how to wakeboard? He's like, I don't know what this guy's doing. But to his credit, he said yes. And, I'd never been around like a bunch of people in wheelchairs or amputees and all that. And so I was a little, anxious about that. He shows up, and, I just know this guy. I barely know this guy as an amputee. We've talked on the phone a few times. But through the course of the weekend, those disabilities disappeared. And then he became my friend Tony. And that was the biggest learning experience that he could have taught me. The learning how to ride the wakeboard is inconsequential almost, because it was the relationship that we established that was the important thing. And that's carried through every event. That the most important part is building relationships with the veterans that come. I mean, they're gonna ride, they're gonna have a good time. It's just, it's a platform to get people out to relax, and water's a great, provider of that. There's actually scientific evidence. There's a book called Blue Mind. If you really want to nerd out and read that, they hook your brain waves, and they actually can calculate how much better you feel when you're in, on, or around the water. So I didn't need that. I knew it.
Oh, well, no, you made a great choice. So honestly, Ray, how did Wake for Warriors come across your radar? And what was your initial reaction to what was going on there?
Well, I live on Lake Harding, and live in a condo there on the lake. And as Dave said, he met someone that lives on our lake, said, hey, you need to bring this deal to our lake. I mean, we need to do it. So he's talking with Jay, and then Jay knows Bill, and Bill knows me. And so all of a sudden they're like, if we're going to do this, we need a place to do it. And our condo has this very nice point out on the lake. And so they called me, and I was the president of the homeowners association at the time, and said, hey, we'd like you to meet this guy and see maybe we can bring this to our lake. Again, a lake community is a family. Yes. No matter, I mean, when you pull up on a boat, any boat you got, whether it's a really expensive one or not, it doesn't matter. Everybody's in a bathing suit. It doesn't matter. You're just family. You can't sometimes tell if this is a millionaire doctor driving an old pontoon or somebody that can't make the next boat payment. But anyway, so we got a phone call. We kind of got together with Dave, and we had a core group of some folks that live there on the lake, three of us, and we met with him. And I got involved, not just because I'm an American and it's my duty to give back to those that gave for me. I lived and been born and raised in Columbus, Georgia. We're the home of Fort Benning. We've always been a military town and always will be. But when you meet Dave and understand his passion, he has a saying, and we have the saying that's on our website too, that we can't fix what's broken, but we can help them heal. We can power them by doing things for them. And all it is setting up this thing that we do and allowing them to come in. And as Dave was saying there, the connection that they get to make with someone else that's somewhat in their same boat. They might not have the exact same amputee or the mental or the physical or the blindness or whatever it is, but they know combat, they know what they went through, and they know what they're going through now. So when we put 4, 5, or 6 of those guys and gals together in a boat and let them start connecting, along with what Dave's talking about, this healing of the water, it is really amazing what you start seeing. Yeah. So meeting with Dave the first time, and I can remember too, it was like, well, what do you want us to do? How do you run one of these things? What do we do? He said, well, normally what I do is I get everybody there and I call and I find out what they're going to want for Subway. And then I call, make the order so that when we get back, I can go run and get the Subway. And then I say, okay, what kind of pizza y'all want? And then I order the pizza to be picked up, and I go pick it up when we get back the next time. And he said, so that's normally what I do. So if we can do that, be great. But I'd just like to do it instead of 2 or 3 people. I want to do it for like 20, 25, 30 people. And we're like, okay, fine. What, just what else you want? He's like, well, that's it. And from that, we kind of started building what's kind of now been the model of what happens in some 50 odd events. Some events is 1 boat and 4 or 5 guys and gals. Some of them are 5 or 6 boats. We have 25 plus. And we were just, again, we fell in love with Dave. We fell in love with the mission, and just, we're like, okay, what do we do? And here it is 10 years later, and we hope that it's way more than 10 more.
Well, that's why we're here. We want to give notice to you guys. Anybody who's watching this, we support it, and we hope you do too. But I can't help but think about this, Ray. It sounds like a Zach Brown band song, Pull Up, where everybody's up in the, everybody's got a boat and they're all just out there having a good old time in Georgia.
It is. It's so cool because when we put them in the boat, although there's a difference between the Navy and the Army and the Marines and the this and the that, you get in the boat, you get on the water, you got on your bathing suit, it doesn't matter. I mean, it is one big.
I want to find out, Dave. Are the Navy guys better at it than some of the other guys? Just tell me the truth. Are the Navy guys a little bit better at it? Are they, are they just fish out of water? What's going on?
Actually, no, they're not. They are definitely slower.
He's saying that because he's a Marine. Anthony, he's saying that because he's a Marine. That's what it is.
He's biased.
Yes, he's biased.
Dave, did you say we have to tell him 2 or 3 more times?
Yeah. But Pete, if I can say something though, what has happened over the course of those 10 years was a few of us that were coaching and driving were also doing what we call now is the land piece of it, like the feeding and all that. And it was exhausting. And to have folks like Ray, and you mentioned Mac and Rachel, especially people that they're not just there to throw some food out there and serve it to you or whatever. They are invested in like loving on these people. And when you have people like, Mac, Rachel, Ray come in there and engage with you, it is something that it's magical, because these people are coming from all over the country. And the first thing they do is that they're walking in there to this completely, place that they've never been to. And these people surround them with just, you just know that you're welcome and you're loved. And you can't buy that. You just have to find people that are awesome like that. And I've been blessed to find these folks and feel so fortunate about that.
Hi, I'm Pete Shau. You may know me from the RTO Show podcast, but today I'm doing something a little bit different. Apro and Wow Brands have launched a special project to bring the story of our industry to life like never before. They've asked me to sit down with some of the true legends of rent-to-own, capturing their stories, their impact, and their vision for the future. And now I get to share those conversations with you straight from the legends themselves. All of this leads to something groundbreaking though, a new book, The Rent-to-Own Revolution, A Definitive History of Advocacy and Consumer Access, written by Apro CEO Charles Smitherman and Wow Brand CEO Brian Krast. The book explores the grassroots of RTO, the advocacy that has defined it, and the future that we're building together. Here's where you come in. We're giving away free copies once the book is released. Just head over to the RTORevolution.com and sign up for a chance to receive a copy in early 2026. Don't miss the chance to be among the first to hold this piece of RTO history. That's RTORevolution.com. Check it out and become a part of RTO history. Well, you know what, Ray, I'm going to say, Dave, on the other side, I'm going to say we're blessed to have people like you who want to do that for the people that you've been with, whether you're on one side of the line and the government or the other. We can all come together and really, for each other, do something great. Now, recently sat down with Fox 5 in Atlanta, Ray, and for the Wake for Warriors, and as a business leader, and you could support quietly, you could, but you chose to be public about this. And I think I know why, but would you explain to the listeners why you were able to go on that? Because you said, this is not my wheelhouse. I'm a little bit, this is a little bit out, but you're not afraid to sit in front of a camera and say, hey, look at what we're doing. This is what we're doing it for. This is the mission that we have. What made you decide, hey, you know what, this is worth it. I'm going to do it for Dave and all the other guys.
So probably the number one reason, Pete, is the 3 of us would not be sitting here doing what we're doing right now if it wasn't for Dave Deep and the hundreds of thousands of men and women that have done whatever it was, whether they were flying helicopters or whether they were fixing the tires on the trucks, it didn't matter. They did something so that us three could sit here right now and do what we're doing and talk about it. So it is incumbent of every single American to do what they can do, whether it's donate. And yes, we're a 501c organization and we'll take donations. Get that plug in real quick. Matter of fact, we need donations, but more so it's, again, I want to do whatever that little bit is. And again, my part is so little. It takes a lot of folks to put on the things that we do. You talk about Mac and Rachel. Rachel's got 25 to 30 groups of ladies and men and families that help just do the breakfasts. And I'm talking scrambled eggs and grits and sausage and biscuits. And we're not talking about Pop-Tarts here. And then but to go back to your question, when I met Dave and found this part, I got to put the water in with it. I got to put the boating in with it. And it just felt so right. And after that first event that we did, I knew that we would have to continue to do whatever it would take. And if it takes me getting on TV and me getting on podcasts and me getting on these other things to help maybe our industry more so understand what's available out there to help, and that we are obligated to help somebody somehow.
Absolutely.
And what better organization than our veterans?
Well, I can tell you guys right now, take a page out of Ray's book. If you have an RTO store in your community and you're not doing something like this, you should be. Now, I'm not saying that they're not, but a lot of times there are some people that are wondering, what can I do? And this is something that you can be doing. It's very important for the people that we do it for. And it gives that recognition. Hey, you didn't do this for nothing. We care about you. We care about your home well-being. We want the community to understand what we're doing. Do you reach out to, being a business owner yourself in the rent-to-own industry? I know that we're pretty close-knit. Do you reach out to any of the other owners in the industry or beyond the industry, owners in the area and say, hey, guys, you should probably be doing this as well?
So I have some, and what I've realized is that I haven't probably done it as much as I really should. And that's kind of the reason for a little bit more of the push towards the end of last year going into 2026. I do need to make sure, and I need to speak volumes of what Wake for Warriors does, and what I see happens. I mean, we have had testimony after testimony of how people do get that healing effect from the water, and what Dave and our whole group is trying to do. So I will be doing it more. You will be hearing more about it. You will be seeing, I am so honored and blessed. And Dave just found this out too. Buddy's Home Furnishings has started a new initiative for next year, and everybody knows you got your shirt. You want to find out what kind of patch you got on the side and all that stuff. Well, what Buddy's is doing with Vox and the Red initiative, remember everyone deployed. Buddy's Home Furnishings 65th anniversary will have Wake for Warriors on their shirt and have a red shirt where $5 of each shirt purchase will go to Wake for Warriors. So we're really looking. I really appreciate the Buddies management team and everyone for coming up and doing that. And that shows them wanting to step up too. And it goes back to, I've been there 4 years. It just goes back to, I kind of started talking about it, and I think we all need to talk about it. We have had some conversations, but they'll be seeing a lot more of it. And this organization's got to continue to go. We need to continue to get good sponsorships, good volunteers, but more so we need to figure out how we can touch as many veterans. If they want to come, we got to figure out how to get them there.
Well, we need the people like you, Ray, to talk about it. We do appreciate that. Dave, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm gonna send you a pledge. Ray, we'll get on after this, and I pledge that the RTO show is going to help out this cause because I believe in it and I believe in everything that you're doing. So I just want you to know we're going to be a part of that too. Dave, can you walk me through a Wake for Warriors weekend? If I'm a veteran and I'm coming to see you, okay? I've heard this show. He's on Fox News. He's on the best podcast ever, the RTO Show podcast, right? And I hear about this and I want to go. Like, what can I expect when I get there? Walk me through a weekend with these guys.
Yeah, well, first of all, we talk to them because we want them to be comfortable as soon as they show up, because you could, again, like when I, walked up to Tony, it's like, hey, do you want to come to my house for 3 or 4 days? Just think in their back of their mind, they're like, what if I show up on day one and I don't like it? I have to deal with this for another 3 days.
Yeah.
And so we want to make them as relaxed and comfortable as possible. So we either do like a Zoom call or something and talk to them, so they kind of know the big picture. So typically they'll show up on a Thursday evening. They'll travel from across the country, and they'll be picked up at the airport. Some of them drive, and we meet for dinner at one spot. In this case, on Lake Harding, it's my house, and everybody's served dinner, and then we kind of go over what we're going to do for the rest of the weekend, which is, in a nutshell, sleep, wake up, eat, get on the water till lunch, eat, go back out on the water until dinner time, and then eat again. They will not be hungry when they leave.
You have a very humble personality, Dave. I couldn't imagine somebody going, I don't want to spend my weekend with this guy. I couldn't see that. You guys seem very,
Yeah.
you know what? So I'm curious, because there is a lot going on, right? Not one person has the same needs as another. So
Yeah.
you serve veterans with amputations, paralysis, PTSD, TBI, and other service-related injuries. How do you create an environment where everyone can participate the way they do?
Again, we find awesome people that find out what we've done, and then they, for instance, we have a person who his real job, like an aircraft, he works for an aircraft company doing like engines and stuff, but on the side he makes grills for boats, like these
Oh, wow.
grills that you can cut. Well, I met him and I was like, we have this problem with the seats that folks that are in wheelchairs ride on the boards. It's very specific and very custom. And he's like, oh yeah, I can do that. And he has created something that is absolutely the best in the world. And he's done it mostly on his own dime.
Wow.
And so we have some special equipment that we have been able to acquire for those kind of things. Most for amputees, there's really not a whole lot of adaptation. We just have a few tricks that we've learned over the course of the years that make it a little bit easier. Some straps here and some bungee cord there, and some cord to make sure that if it does fall off, it doesn't go to the bottom. Not that that's ever happened before. Well, okay.
Listen, if you fall in, it's okay. We got you covered.
Yeah. So yeah, we and every person is different, and we just let them. They know their bodies better than anyone, so we let them
Right.
figure it out. We just kind of provide them the opportunity.
One of our biggest and best tools that Dave and the coaches have developed is we have returning veterans that have come to the events that are now coaching. What better
wow. person
to tell you how to do something on the board that is already missing a limb or has that type of they had to overcome it somehow. So Tony Mullins coaches for us. Tyler coaches for us. Stefan coaches for us. There's so many of these folks that came and got to come back. Well, they may not have learned it all from us. What happened is, even with Tyler, after his first visit, he bought a boat the next week.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
Started doing it. And now Tyler drives the boat better than anybody I know almost. So that's probably, again, we have some great organizations that have helped us out with the adaptive gear, but I believe our best tool is what Dave's created in being able to get the veterans that came and didn't know if they could do it to now coach and teach those that don't think they can do it.
Dave, we're making warrior ambassadors, man. We're making warrior ambassadors. Look, they love to serve. You can't take it away from them. They're going to serve one way or another. Now,
Absolutely.
I've heard you say before on a few things, you love to see veterans smile and watch the tough exterior come off. Can you describe what somebody looks like when they're first walking up and then 48 to 72 hours later after they've literally been able to fall off and not lose their stuff all the way to the bottom? But, you know, like, what is that transformation when you see somebody going through that? And then this is something that you really look out for because you want to know, hey, are we doing a good job? Is it working? What is that like to just see the change in one of our veterans?
Yeah. Again, it varies, you know, based on the person. There's some people that are going through it. We have no idea. And they're not going to just sit there and just spit it all out of what's going on in their world. So, but you can see it in their face. They've got that anxiety, you know, and they're like, oh, I'm not sure I can do this. And we just tell them, yeah, you can do it. And we don't sit there and coddle them and all that. It's actually a lot of what I call aggressive motivation. It's not peer pressure. But
I won't push you off the dock, I promise.
No, but it's just creating that environment. It's like, hey, you know, you're going to fall. We don't care. And we're all here. And the other part of it is those other 3 or 4 people that are in the boat are cheering for you. They're not like, oh, I can't wait till it's my turn. They are in there. They're engaged with the person that's in the water, and they're fired up when they see them succeed. So we're just there to help them from whatever setback they've experienced, to help them facilitate their comeback story. And whatever that means, that doesn't necessarily mean just teaching them how to wakeboard or surf.
Right.
It's all the other resources that we could tap into from other organizations that we team up with that have, you know, a lot of capabilities that we don't. And we can just plug them in. Whatever, you know, if they're looking for a job, if they, you know, need some kind of special counseling, if they need whatever, we probably know somebody that we can at least connect them with to get them, you know, telling their comeback story.
I mean, it's unbelievable. You know, some of the things that I've seen. Guys, I've literally went onto the Wake for Warriors YouTube page and I'm watching a video and there is this veteran with literally no bottom half. Okay. He's got no legs and he hops in the water like it's just another day. It's just another thing to conquer. And that's the drive and the commitment that they have to each other and to the situation. And I love seeing that. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I don't mind lake water, you know, not that much, but man, he did it like it was second nature.
Although we challenge these folks to do those things, if they want to chill out and sit on the side, they can chill out and sit on the side. It never happens. They want to be in those boats. They want to be with those Marines and those soldiers and those Navy guys. They want to be with them. They want to be doing it. And although they may walk in timid, David, we ever had one leave timid.
No.
It is such a remarkable change. When you said what's the difference in 48 to 72 hours, is they walk in not knowing who I got to hug all these people. What's going on here? To wait a minute, come here, give me another hug. You know, I don't want to leave yet. You know, asking, you know, what's the actual address here so I can just sneak back over.
That's awesome.
Transformation in 2 to 3 days is amazing. But it goes back to how each one of those veterans, deep down inside, they have something that wants to get out. They want to live. They don't want to be noticed for not having a leg or an arm.
Right.
They just want to be noticed. And that's what we do. We let them come in and be who they want to be. And as Dave said, they're going to know Rachel. They're going to get a hug from Rachel, whether they want it or not.
That's true.
And we have volunteers all across the country that do that. And we need more. We need more volunteers to continue to grow this thing, that don't mind hugging, don't mind saying, hey, don't mind smiling, or don't mind just sitting and listening. Because sometimes that's all we do.
Is it safe to say they come in as lambs and leave as lions?
Yeah. One of my friends says they come in on Thursday handshaking and they leave on Sunday hugging.
That's it. And, you know, that's got to be a beautiful thing to see. I mean, at some point in time, Ray, you might see me pop up at some point. You're like, what's Pete doing here? I just want to ride the boat.
Hey, come on. Come on. One of my jobs is to move people around on the pontoon. We can go out, we can sit and watch. And I tell you what, and I guarantee you, you come to one of our events, Dave will get you on a surfboard. Period.
Here we talk. Hey, listen, I'm probably not as good as they are, but we can have fun trying it, right? I'm all good with that. So you host now 50 plus events annually with 600 plus veterans across 20 plus states. I mean, these stats are like Amazing, right? So, how do you measure success beyond the numbers? Because those are successful numbers. What is success with those numbers?
My measure of success has nothing to do with numbers. It has everything to do with one person deciding that I'm going to stay on this earth for another day. And if we have done that, we have accomplished our mission. If we have, if we have one person whose life is better today because they came to an event, that's our measure of success. One. I don't really care about the numbers.
That's powerful, Dave, but it's meaningful, and that's amazing. So, like, what happens? So they come in, you see them come in timid, right? You see them going out, their hand shaking, their back slapping. They're like, I'm going to sneak my way back in here. What's the follow-up? Ray, do you do a follow-up? Dave, do you do a follow-up and give them a call back like later on and just like, hey, tell me the experience. What did you like? What did you not like? Do we, should we make not grits? Should we make more grits? Like, how does that work?
It's a little bit of all of that. Again, so what happens from the perspective of us volunteers too is we get attached really quick to some of these folks that come in. So the follow-up shows in a lot of different ways. One is we may be teamed with another organization to do the event, be it Simplify or someone like that. I'm telling you, Miss Rachel and half the crew is going to be on whatever social media you're on. So they're going to be staying in touch with you on social media. We know about births. We know about someone that gets a new dog. I've got a few of the guys that I did and have done. One of the guys from California, I did some coaching on interviewing. He's like, I need to get a job, but I don't know how to do the interview. And so whatever tools that we have as volunteers, we kind of can help them beyond that. So I did some phone interviews with him and different things. And so that's one of the ways that the volunteers, we kind of keep up with them on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month basis.
I loved it. I mean, I'm loving this more and more as we go on and on. Dave, Ray, I'm telling you, this is an amazing situation.
So Pete, now you know what happened to me 10 years ago when I met him. we sat at a table.
Come here, baby. Come here.
Yeah, so it's not as much, again, it's good to know, hey, what we're doing for veterans that we should be called to do. But then you get to meet Dave and the whole organization. And I'm telling you, there's not a volunteer that wouldn't give the shirt off their back, especially once they've been involved. It's like there's a lot of folks, they're gung-ho, but you come to an event or you get to meet one of these warriors, and you want to go to wakeforwarriors.org and you want to donate. You do want to do that. You want to go to Wake
You got me, Dave. You got me. You're laughing over there, but you got me. I was going to do it anyways.
You want to go to Wake
you.
Warriors and you want to sign up as a volunteer. If you own a Nautique wake boat and you live on a lake and we're not there, you want to contact Dave. Hey, what do we need to do? How can we do something? Start small, one boat, 4 or 5 folks. We kind of got a package for you that'll get you to where you need to get started. Again, we got some rules, we got some guidelines. There's things that we're going to make sure are done the way they should be done because of the respect and honor that we should show these veterans. But again, you're caught, the bug's caught. I got to continue. I need you to continue to get the word out for, again, the donations that we need, the volunteers that we need, but more so, as Dave said, if one more veteran that could come to us that helps their healing, that's what it's all about, is how do we do our little bit.
So you guys got to tell me, and each of you can have one of your own stories here, but what is a long-term story? I know that you mentioned, I believe it was Tyler, what is one of the long-term guys or gals that came in and you said, you know what, I don't know how this is going to work, but we're going to work this out together. And they've end up turning to the Warrior Ambassador 14 years later, or however long they stayed. What was one of those people for you, Ray, for you, Dave, and to say, I didn't know it was going to go this route, but they have really, really come through, and this is a little bit of their story.
Well, actually, I have a few, but while we were talking about this, I was just kind of like thinking about some of those stories. And one really quickly, he isn't necessarily a long-term ambassador, but he was a repeat that he'd gone to an event and then he had a great time. Very grateful. So grateful that he asked to come back the following year. And we had a spot for him. He gave me some little token. just like a little gift. And he said, my wife wants to thank you because I'm a different person. I'm a better husband. I'm a better
Wow.
father. And I'm a better
Wow.
person overall because I came here last year. And I was like, okay, because I'm just
Wow.
hanging out, taking people on the boat, dragging them around and creating, the environment was created and he just bought into it. But another one that was probably a surprise to me is a guy named Matt Hannon. He lived in Washington State. I hadn't met him. I've only talked to him on the phone for a while. And he has been through a lot. He's an amputee. He also had brain cancer. So he had a lot of his brain scooped out through a couple of surgeries. But his attitude is infectious. And he fell in love with riding behind the wake. And so he'd been helping locally there in Washington State for events. Not really helping, but just kind of participating. And I was like, Matt, you have led people in combat more so than he was a Marine recon, which is like not just Marines, but like really, really hardcore Marine.
Hardcore. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, you've led people in combat. You can lead these events. And I need you to do that. And he's stepped up and he goes all over the country with me because one, he's just a great person to create an awesome vibe and people have a great time. And he's not afraid to just let people know where he's been and what he's accomplished. So he is the definition of a setback to a comeback. He's had everything you could think of thrown at him, and he's still up there kicking and fighting. And just as the attitude, you just can't be sad around it, And that's what I love about him. And he likes to talk a lot. We actually have a code word. If he keeps talking, I have to say the word Oklahoma. And he'll like, okay, I got it. But he loves to tell stories, loves to talk, but people love to talk to him and listen, It's a good thing.
Ray, who do you got? I know you got something thumbing around in there because I can see that face.
Man, I just can't, over the 10 years, there's so many. If you, the first would probably go back to any of our participants that now help us with the coaching. So kind of like he's saying, we're with Matt there, but the ones that not only came and got something out of it for themselves, but saw so much that they want to come and give more. That's the crazy part. I mean, whether it's a Tyler or a Tony, or like I said, Stefan or Carlos out in Texas, or, I mean, there's just so many names I can come off with that's probably the overall of it. But if I had to pick one of the ones would probably be Carlos, and he lives out in Texas. Carlos has a daughter that had a rare disease and ended up becoming a double amputee herself.
Oh, wow.
He's a single amputee. And Carlos came to one of our very first events, had a great time. He kept laying legs everywhere. It was like the first time. I had not been around, as Dave said earlier, I hadn't been around a lot of amputees, but these guys just leave their legs and feet laying everywhere. And it's like, where's my leg? Where's my leg? But so Carlos was that kind of guy. And although he had this big exterior, he had some things going on. And so I got to meet him, and he came back a couple years later. Well, then we did a family event there on Harding and got to physically meet his family. And Lily came back, and I cannot tell you how rewarding it was for him, me, and I know Dave. He and his daughter double surfed together.
Wow.
And so not only did he bring his daughter back and get her involved in this, and they saw how well that, same thing he's told me many times, that Wake Forest has just really changed him. His wife and daughter they just knew it. So they came, and again, I'll never, ever be able to have a feeling like that again for someone else. It was just really amazing. And so Carlos is probably one that I would I would say would be that top.
Man, you guys are picking from the top, man. That is awesome.
We got plenty. We could go all night, Pete. I'm telling you.
Anthony, you get that feeling they got some stories to tell, right?
I'm getting chills back
Oh
here.
my God,
Wow.
it's amazing to hear you guys say these things. Listen, Dave, Ray, just wanted to tell you guys, I'll probably give you a hug the next time I see you. Be like, where'd that come from? You remember that time? You know what I'm saying? Hey everyone, it's Pete Shau here from the RTO Show podcast, and I want to tell you about a company that's making a real difference in the rent-to-own space. Wow Brands. I've seen firsthand how they approach marketing. And let me tell you, it's not just about ads. Wow Brands builds complete digital ecosystems designed specifically for the rent-to-own industry. Their e-commerce and lead generation strategies are built to bring in qualified leads. And did I mention that they are actively working with the rent-to-own industry while also being members of APRO and TRIB? Listen, these folks are passionate problem solvers. They don't just slap something together, they design, build, and scale the kind of digital retail tools your business needs and your customers actually want. So if you're serious about growing, reach out to Wow Brands at wowbrands.com. I trust them, and I think you will too. So Wake for Warriors has partnered with Semperfi and America's Fund and some major water sports brands like Natique and Hyperlight, if I'm saying that right. And how essential have these partnerships been into scaling Wake for Warriors to get out there the way it has?
Yeah, well, folks like the organizations that you talked about, Simplify, is they have a very large network of veterans that have been screened, and they know that they are cared about, and we just love having them. If we are having an event and we need a few spots somewhere like Colorado or whatever, we can reach out to them, and they're like, "Oh, here's some candidates that would be really good for that area." And it does one of two things. First of all, they're local, and so they're gonna go to this event, and then they're gonna stay connected because they're local, and they can do other things. We kind of talk about ripples that happen that we don't even know about. They'll meet, and then before you know it, a couple of weeks later, they're going fishing or doing something else together, which is pretty awesome. That's what you want. You want them connected.
Yes.
So that's what the Simplify Fund is for us. The Nautic Boat Company has been instrumental in our expansion because we have an entire dealer network at our disposal. So anywhere that we go, most likely a Nautic dealer close by, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we want to do this. Here's some boats. They have great boat drivers and all that."
Wow.
And we just kind of show up, put a few people like Matt on there, pump up the vibe, and have some good tunes, and we're in business. So it makes our life a lot easier. Along with, we can't do it without boards, and Hyperlight has actually helped us develop some of these specific boards that make it more adaptive to our riders. And they're all doing it not for, pat on the back or to sell whatever product they're selling. They're doing it like for the reason that Ray does it, because they care about what we're doing. And these are my friends. They're not, corporate people that are just,
Right.
Oh, let's write a check here so we can, get our name on the side of a boat or whatever. No, these are people, again, that we know about their birthdays, and that we celebrate their life with them. And it's a great family that we've been blessed to be part of.
I agree. Right. So Ray, as a business owner, what would your message be to other business owners that, funding is important, reaching out and making sure that they have the ability to make the breakfasts and to have the boats out there and to do what they do. What do you say as a business owner is what you found to be the reason why you do this and getting them involved? What would you say to the guys out there who's actually watching this, this podcast, and say, this is why I do it, and this is why I think you should do it, and these are some of the benefits that I, as a person and a business owner, get out of that? And not that we're trying to do it for any specific reason, like, hey, I'm, again, like you said, I'm not trying to put my name on the side of a boat, but, being in my community and a pillar of the community, this is what I get to say we do for our people. What would that message be to some other owners and business leaders in your area?
I would think and hope most of us business owners understand that someone got us here, whether it's just a mentor or whether it's our customer group, whether it's our community, and in some form of fashion, we're going to give back. And usually it's something that's connected personal to you. I think in my story before, I told you my dad was in Vietnam was a medic vet. My son was in the Army as a cyber specialist. So those are some really close connections. Again, from Fort Benning, just been around it. But I go back to, I could not be a business owner if I lived in another country that didn't have the warriors go fight and do the things that's happened over the past 250 years for me to be a Buddy's franchisee. So whether you're a Taco Bell guy or a gas station guy or a lady that has a boutique down on Broadway, it's the veterans that are allowing us to do what we do. And again, you said it other, it doesn't matter what side of the line that you're going to stand on, or you're going to vote on. But what it does mean is that we have people that are struggling in our country. All right. And there are other groups of people struggling. I choose the veterans. I'm asking you to choose the veterans. And with that, we need the volunteers. So we need your time. We do need your money. One weekend that we do on Lake Harding, we go through about 800 gallons of fuel.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
That's a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun, Dave.
These are some big boats that use a lot of fuel. They're high performance boats. So it's not the little unleaded, it's the premium. And that takes a lot of money. Do that 50 times a year. Again, some events are a little bit less. We have 2 boats, not 5 or so. But so as a business owner, I know that. I know the expenses. I know what goes on. So hopefully other business owners see that and it's like, well, wow, maybe I could sponsor a boat or maybe I could, maybe I own a restaurant and I could do a lunch for 25, 50 people. Maybe I own a marketing company and my name is Vox and I'm going to make towels for everyone to have a towel with the Wake Warrior logo on it. So there are people that are doing that. There are people that are helping. And as Dave said, it's not about how many events we get to put on or how many people we run through there. We got to do those, but we just, we need the help. And I'm not going to be quiet about it anymore. This organization has done more for me and my community at Lake Harding and Columbus than anything in my 60 years of being in Columbus that I can really think of. Dave is known on that lake. Dave is known in that city. Is a stand-up guy that's running a stand-up organization, and they're willing to help. And I think every business owner, no matter, again, like I said, no matter what it is, find something. Find us, please. But if it's something else, I think that we owe it to give back to our communities that are given to us.
Vox, I'm looking at you. Andrew, hi, Duke. Listen, we appreciate what you do, too. We didn't forget about you. I'm glad you called it out, Ray. I appreciate that. So, going into the end, Dave, you balance being a Delta Airlines pilot with running this organization. How do you do that? I mean, it's not like, I do woodworking in the garage a little bit. No, you're a literal pilot and you still find time to do this with all these amazing people. How do you do that?
Well, it can be a challenge, especially in the summer when there's multiple events going on at the same time. But, I keep going back to this. The best thing I have is people that are competent and they want to do it and they want to do it, how we've laid it out. And so I don't really have to worry about, if it's going to be done right. But yeah, it can be challenging sometimes. And honestly, there's a few times in the summer that I've, had to drop a trip so I can just be where I need to be. But it's only money. And we don't really think about it like that because, again, if you're changing somebody's life, how are you going to put a price tag on that?
And Pete, it does go back to, although he's a great multitasker, it does go back to the volunteers that we get. We talk about a group that we have up in Washington State that just do a phenomenal job. The guys out in Texas that do a phenomenal job, up in North Carolina. So we've got to have these different groups that have a core, that core part of the volunteers. So we got, you got Miss Rachel, you got Miss Hannah, you got Tim. This guy handles all the housing for us for the whole lake. Everybody has a bed, everybody has a pillow, everybody has a place to stay on the lake. We're not taking people down to the Holiday Inn Express or anything. So we got to have those type people that are willing to do that time and time again. And believe me, it's a lot of work, but it's easy work when you know the reward you're getting. As Dave just said, if we're able to help one more person, just feel a little bit better for the weekend, have a better outlook, go after that job that they've been wanting. It's more than worth it.
Well, I get, Ray, you started your career in 1987, same year Dave graduated from Auburn. Lake Harding is literally in your backyard. So how does it feel to support something rooted in your own community?
It's huge. I mean, you can do a donation for some national organization that doesn't go to all these little lakes around the country. Like you said, we're in 20 plus states now. And you're talking about Auburn. I'll bring that up. We've expanded out and we do some other things. So we have one of our volunteers that makes scrambled eggs every morning. Her and her husband make the scrambled eggs for 60 people. So we're not talking about cracking a few eggs. We're talking about lots. Some of the best scrambled eggs you ever have. Well, she works at Auburn, and she said to Dave, "Hey, we've got this this wheelchair basketball team. You think we could maybe do something?" We brought them out.
Oh,
we
wow,
were
good.
finishing up. We were finishing up an event. Everything's already set up and everything. So it's like, yeah, y'all come on out. We got all the equipment's laid out for you. It's all done, and so we've done 2 events with them now.
Ray's a local celebrity, Dave. You guys, I'm talking to some celebrities here, man. This is what I'm talking about.
This guy right here, I'm telling you. I haven't been on the Auburn podcast.
Well, I tell you what. Listen, guys, we're coming to the end, but I wanted to do a little bit of a lightning round. I want to ask you guys some quick questions, and you tell me. Dave, this first one is literally mostly for you. The rest of them are going to be to both. But what would you say to a veteran who's listening right now, maybe struggling, maybe a little bit isolated, who's thinking, I'm not sure if this is for me. I'm not sure if I'm qualified. I'm not sure if I can do this. What would you say to that person right now?
Go to the website and sign up. If you want to ask questions, you can email. I'll call you back. If you're a little bit scared, do it scared. It's going to be, you're not going to have everything figured out, but trust me, you're going to enjoy it. You may have had some experiences in the past with, an organization that you felt like you're being, not honored or whatever. This isn't one of them. So just come. You'll enjoy it. I don't care if you've been on the water ever before. We're going to give you as much grief as possible, but you're going to still enjoy it.
Hey, come on down. This is for the both of you guys. Well, we're going to go one in each. Ray, the Challenge of Columbus community and the business communities listening, what's your specific call to action to them right here on this podcast?
Right here, right now is go to wakeforwarriors.org, click the donate button and donate. Second is to then click the volunteer button and find out how you can fit in. If you're in Columbus, Muskogee County, the surrounding area specifically, you can contact me through that website and I will find a way for you to get plugged in. And I'm talking about in any form of fashion. If you just want to help, somebody's got to bring the bananas.
I'm going to tell you right now, Dave and Ray, look, Ray's like, listen, I will not only call you out, I'll give you the instructions on how to get that done. Dave, what makes someone a great Wake for Warriors volunteer? What are you looking for when somebody comes out and says, hey, I did hit that volunteer button. Ray told me so. I was watching the show. He told me to do it. What are you looking for in a volunteer that they might go onto the website and say, I think this is for me. I need to do this.
If you have a heart of giving and you don't have to necessarily be qualified to ride a boat or anything, there's plenty of things to do. And if you just want to express your gratitude in a way that is kind of unique, then that's all you have to do. Just show up. You can figure it out. It's not complicated.
I heard that. Yeah. All right. So last question, Ray, what is your hope that comes out of today's conversation and today's podcast?
Dave already kind of said it, that we're able to help one veteran decide to live for tomorrow.
So if we can get them that message, reach out and let's take care of you.
Yeah, it's and again, Dave said it again too. If you're scared, come on, we'll do it scared. We'll do it together, Scared. It may not be me. It may be Tim. It may be a volunteer in Washington. But I tell you, if you sign up, we will be there to help you heal. We can't do it all for you, but we will help you. I promise you that. So
I love
if
I love it.
if you're the veteran that needs this right now, then you go to the website and you sign up, and I promise you we'll help.
All right, Dave, this last one's on you. In one sentence, what is the legacy that you want to leave for Wakes for Warriors?
Of course, I've been thinking about this. I get a little bit older. I've been, I'm working on I get run over by a bus plan, and I just want it to continue, because if there is a need, my hope was maybe sometime we don't need a Wake for Warriors or any other organization that takes care of veterans. But right now we do. As long as there is a person that needs to get a hug from Miss Rachel, then I would like it to keep going, even when I'm not around.
That's a great call to action. Guys, you guys can make that happen. To the both of you, who do they reach out to? How do they reach Wake for Warriors? What website do they need to go to? How can they make this happen?
Go to wakeforwarriors.org. We're also on social media, Facebook and Instagram. You can message us. That all comes to me. So we can get you in touch with wherever you are to the right person. So just do that. And the other thing is, if you know somebody, a veteran that maybe they work in your store and you see them struggling, but they're like, oh, I got it. I don't need it. Just encourage them to do it, because maybe that little push is maybe if he gives me time off of work, I'm good. And that might benefit not only that person, that veteran, it'll benefit you, because they'll be a better person when they come back.
That's a great deal. I want to challenge, Pete, anyone and everyone that's in the rent-own industry, whether you're a vendor, whether you're a customer, whether you're a store personnel, whether you're an owner, go and do nothing else but go to wakeforwarriors.org and watch some of the videos.
Yes.
Just watch how much fun these guys and gals are having. And as Dave said, if you or someone else, just show them the videos. Those are not AI. That is us doing. And when you see us celebrating, we are celebrating, because we do. We're going to challenge you, but we celebrate. We celebrate really big, and that is so rewarding for our volunteers.
Yeah, it's not just physical injury. It's also that person that's struggling internally, mentally. And I think sometimes that's harder, because, you see somebody that's an amputee, oh, well, that person's been through something. But there's a lot of folks out there that have been injured, and they're just carrying it with them, and they don't necessarily get the visual recognition, but they need to be out as well.
Beautiful insights, Dave. That's why we have you here, because you know firsthand what you're dealing with. Ray Muncy of Buddy's Home Furnishings doing an amazing job helping out Dave Deep from Wake for Warriors. Listen, guys, I really appreciate you having on the show. Love the conversation. Love what you stand for. Listen to Ray. He gave you the directions. Make sure you go and do what he says. Reach out to these guys. If you guys have any questions, you can also reach out to the show at pete@the RTOshowpodcast.com. You can send me a message. Listen, just so you guys are aware, I'm actually going to put a link to Wake for Warriors on the website. So if you go there to see us, you can also see them. You have the ability to click on that. You're going to be able to see where you can volunteer, how you can donate some money, because listen, this is a worthy cause. I'm going to tell all my guys from the rent-own industry, this is something that you get into, whether you're into something else or not. This is something that you want to get into, because you're helping your community and you're helping the people in your country, the guys and gals who have fought and strived to make this place what it is today, an amazing place to be. Thank you guys for being on here. Listen, if you guys have any questions, you can also hit me up on social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube, where you're going to see this. Guys, I really appreciate everything. I appreciate you being on the show. If I follow up Fox 5, yeah, but listen, they're going to love you. They're going to follow us from the RTO Show podcast. And I will tell you guys, as always, get your collections low to get your sales high. Have a great one.